Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back in class with another video lesson for you guys to learn. And this is another request that I had from a subscriber that wanted to learn how to draw feet. So I couldn't sleep last night, so I jumped up around 3 something and started doing a video, as you will see, because it got crazy. No, I kept my composure. But anyway, let's go and I'll show you guys how to do feet. Now this is how I do it. This is my way of doing it. So whenever I teach you guys, it's always the way that I do it. You can get some crazy college professionals to say, oh, he's doing it wrong, but this is how I do it. So, and since you subscribe to my channel, I guess you like the way I do it. So yeah, let's go and draw some feet. Why did this intro end up being so long? I don't know. Let's just go and draw some feet. All right, so this, as I said before, this is a request from a subscriber. I hope you're a subscriber. To do feet. Now, I've actually thought about it. I've done feet before, but I've never done a video on just feet. Yeah, I usually do feet. I've done feet as a sideline. So this one's gonna be all feet. So the first thing you want to do is draw your triangle. Now, I don't want to take my paper off camera because when I draw, I don't draw straight across. I have to twist my paper, so if I go off focus, then forgive me. So as I say, first thing you want to do is draw a triangle like that. You should all be able to draw triangles. Basic, simple things. I always tell people, practice your square, your circle, and your triangle. You don't use the triangle too much in drawing, but you do use it enough. So take your triangle, split it in half, then you separate it. So you're going to have like an L shape, reverse L shape. For those people who say, I can't split it, like that. So those are going to be your 2 feet right there. If I put some legs on here, it would be like 2 feet. So that's a quick and easy way to do feet. So what I do, let's take one at a time. Let's do that. What I usually do is I'll round it off like this because the ankle is up here and down here. So I round the top off, of course, because you're not going to have pointy feet. And then the way I do toes is it's kind of like steps. It's like a step and it's down 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one just like that. Curve up the bottom. And that's how I do just basic feet. Now, if you want to put the heel in, you can. It depends on how much turn the foot has. This would come up and the heel would be back here. There's your ankle, which is the inside ankle, which would be this one, is higher than the outside ankle. And then your foot, and then your toes be here. So if you wanted to put like toenails, you could put it here, however. Now, this person just said to draw feet. Now, I don't know if they want to do like bare feet or just feet in shoes, but unless you're drawing like a woman in sandals or heels or something, then most times their feet are going to be covered if they're on a beach or something. And it would be the same way with the other side of the foot. Remember, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just kind of do the little steps, like 1 down and like that. And then you can curve it around a little bit, which is basically how it's supposed to be. And then you go back. And that's just doing your toes. Now, if you're just doing just regular feet, you're doing like the comic book feet, I'll still do the same thing. But I don't. I just curve it around and then maybe the heel here. But again, I'll say it depends on the angle of the foot that I'm doing. And it's always kind of hard to make your right foot look like your right foot and your left foot because this should be longer out than that. But it's just weird when you do it. Like trying to get that back, it kind of squares it off and it just gives it a weird kind of vibe to it. So if I did that one, And the foot will come up because you have your ankle, your heel back here. But you don't want it to come up too much. It just, because the foot is like, what is the foot like? From the inside, it's kind of like you have your heel, you have the arch, and then you have this part here, and then you have your toe that comes, it's like that, and it goes up. So when you do this, which is this right here, and you won't be able to see the other toes unless you go the opposite direction, which would be, again, a triangle. Start out with a triangle, and you do your 5. You say like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your 5th one like that. Now, usually feet, unless you're doing a scene like somebody on a beach or something, you really don't focus on feet because feet are so small. You focus on more your face and your hands in comics more than you do anything else. But as I say, the person wanted to learn how to do feet. So I'm showing you the best that the feet that I do. I would say can do, the kind of the feet that I do. Bring this up, and your ankle is kind of like a teardrop almost. It's there, foot, and it comes up. So on the inside, you would have more of an arch. You see more of your arch here. And that pad, I don't know what this part is called. I think it's called a pad. And as I said, you have your toe coming up. You might see that second one. Sometimes some people's second toe sticks out more, but you won't see the other ones unless you're doing a higher type angle. Look at the camera, Brian. Look at the camera. So, from the back, you have your, let's just say, here's your calf, here's your leg coming down, and then it's going to come in, and it's going to come out to a ball like this. And then you're going to have, because you're going to have this little tendon, if I'm not mistaken, like that. You're going to have this one ankle here. You're going to have the other ankle here in the little thin part right here. Comes out. And then you may see some foot. That also depends on your angles. And as I say, when you talk comics, you have to say depends. So let me ink this because your calf. And as I say, you might get a little foot action going here. So do the same with the other way. Why am I switching all these colors? I don't know, because I put my pencil down somewhere. Same way, your calf, your leg, the foot, the ball of the foot, or the heel of the foot. The other foot would come out this way. So you're basically having this ball here, which is flat on the ground, coming up, and then narrow, and then your ankle, and you might see just a little piece of the foot there. So it would look like that. Remembering that the inner heel is higher than the outer heel. So heel, what's with you? Ankle. So that would be, this one would be higher and this one would be lower. The inner ankle is higher than the lower ankle. Yeah, so that's higher. Remembering that that's flat and then goes up into this, actually comes up like this and then forms the leg. So this is just a piece there. So this comes up and it forms a calf. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Sitting down on the ground. Mainly it's just your triangle. Sometimes you see the heel. Sometimes you want, if I'm doing like a shoe or boot, I'll have this little indentation for like the toe, where the toe goes. And then some heel. And then back up. And it'll be the same thing. The other side. The heel, this little piece here. Some indentation of the toe. And back up. So that would look like this. And then if you try to put like, if you're doing a boot or something, you're gonna put a heel on it, you just bring that down, bring this down, bring that down, bring that down, like that. And now for like a square boot, then I would have like the, bring that line around. That gives it more indication of the toe. And then you can put whatever else you want. If you have like the back heel to the boot or whatever design, if it's a boot or if it's a shoe, you can have your whatever, your straps, however you're designing this particular thing. So let's see. I mean, it's really not much to the foot, doing to the foot, but if you're drawing the legs or leg, you want to have, let's just say, from the back. That's the buttocks, one foot, one leg, foot. You want to kind of have it going out. You want to have that calf going out and in, and that calf kind of comes down, and then your heel. So this is going to actually come in at an angle, and then your heel, then your ankle, which is higher because it's on the inside, and then your lower ankle here, and then, as I said, part of your foot. And it's kind of small foot. You can make it a little bigger, but you want to go, as I say, you want to come in at that angle the same way as, go out at the angle the same way as the other side. You go out. And the foot, just draw a little triangle like that. And then inner is higher and outer is lower. So Brian, what are you doing? I don't know. Inner is higher, not that high. And this could be just flat, one flat piece, making that heel a little bigger. And what is that? It goes up, so this is going to come down. This comes in, you got your knee, and then knee the butt is way too high. But again, your square for your heel. Foot comes out just a little bit. You don't want to have it turned all the way, like then you'd have a side view of a foot. And the side view of a foot is just the same thing as that diamond for the front. Yeah, that triangle for the front, except it's a little longer. If I did the front foot, it would be probably like that. The front of the foot would be like that. Here's your ankle. Here's your other ankle and your toes. So it wouldn't be that long. Bring the paper down. Now if I did a side view, it is longer. Same thing, triangle, leg, and then the toes, depending on if you're doing the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. But it's all that same shape. You just have to master that shape. Like I continue to tell people, master that shape. Then you'll have great drawings. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th toe. You know, that little baby toe is always hiding. So basically, it's a triangle. And to break it down a little bit, even more, if you can do the wedge shape, let's just say triangle again, and then this, from this corner down to that, and then you can also cut the foot out of that and then go back that way. No, forget that, because that's a bad angle. Depending on the angle, of your foot that you're drawing, remember you have that pad, you have the arch, and then you have your heel, and then it comes up. But by doing the triangle, it makes it a little easier, and you just erase that later. Remember, I always bring mine up to that little point, and then my foot, and it just kind of makes it easier for me to, as long when I have this little piece, it makes it easier for me to know basically where to cut it off at. And then your ankle, higher up. Wait, that's the inside. Yeah, higher up there. A lot of times I don't draw ankles because it's just, there's such a small piece of the foot that I don't draw it. Okay, so if I drew like an action foot, most times if somebody's flying or whatever and I have no idea of what I want to do, just that shape right there usually takes the place of the foot. I have to see stuff in my head before I do it, because it's just kind of hard for me to just do it, period. So if somebody's like hovering, like Superman for instance, and you can put the ankle there if you want, and then the leg comes here like that. So basically, if you're doing some kind of a boot, it's more of a bowling pin kind of thing, because a bowling pin would be like that shape. And that's for boots. And as I say, if you want to put a heel on it, then you can put a heel on it just by adding a little piece. And usually you wouldn't see much heel there, but a lot of times they don't do heels unless they're doing like soldiers, and then they'll do the army boots. Let me focus my camera again. To those who are new to the channel, I'm using what is this? I think it's a Galaxy J7 cell phone to film, and it's clear in the beginning, but after so many minutes, it'll kind of it'll blur a little bit, and then I have to stop it and redo it again. I plan on getting a good camera one day. So let's just do this. Let's say I'm doing a boot and the foot. And this is the front of the foot, which would be the right foot. A little bit of indication for the toe. As I say, not too much ankle. But usually if it's a thick boot, I will do, or you should do, like the wrinkles around here. Anytime something moves, like in fabric, there's going to be wrinkles. So if I'm going to do a boot, that's going to come out more and then in here and then have some wrinkles and then come back and then be tight on the foot. Same thing here. And also, it all depends on the type of boot. And then if you're doing like the military type thing, you do the square heel, not heel. This is a, what is this called? And truth be told, it's like 4:40 in the morning. I woke up about 12 o'clock and I couldn't sleep. So I said, let me go ahead and knock out a video. It's the sole. This is the sole of the boot. And getting into detail, since I have the red, you do one line. Since I have the black, you do another line, because there is a separation between the boot and that heel. There's another piece. So it's like that. Then you have that separation. And this is just getting into like realism. And then you have that sole, tread, whatever. And you have to study what type of boot, because some don't come all the way around to the front. Some of these little treads don't come. It's like might be like a flat piece in the front that goes all the way across the front. And then they just start on the side like that. And as I said, I'll just do a little indication of the toe, depending on the type of boot. Bringing it down. You have that little wrinkle under here for where you're bending your foot. And then you come up with your boot, however type of boot you want to put on that character. And it'll be the same for the side. You have your thing, your heel. And it's going to curve and come up like that. Then you put your squares, however. But just, look at how a boot is made, and it's going to come back off of that heel, because a boot is going to always be larger than the foot. As I said, you're going to have that separation. You're going to have the actual, is it the sole or the whatever? Then you're going to have that little piece in between there. And then you have the piece, the boot itself, which comes up. And as I said, there's going to be that wrinkle right here where that foot bends. And then you have that. The tread. Yeah. And see, now that's all I can think about is for feet, as far as feet. As I said, the person wanted to know how to do feet. It's basically a triangle, and you cut your toes out. I don't know if they want actual feet or boot feet, so I'm trying to cover it all. And then if you're doing a woman, you want to make less sharper lines. You want to make the lines a little more delicate, more rounder, and then the foot not so big. You want a smoother foot, shall we say. And then if you, women, women like to do the toenails, so I would put more emphasis, more toenail on it versus a man. And then, add a little polish to it, make the women happy. And then you'd have more of a woman's foot. As I say, just keep this foot smaller or narrower. That's one of my hard words, narrower, like synthesizer. It's two words I can't say twice. Your heel comes up, you have this little pad, and then you have your toe. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, it's a little fifth one there. And then if you put whatever, sandal or whatever, how women love wear sandals. Women just don't wear shoes. I don't know why women, if they could walk around the world barefoot, they would, because the less material they put on their foot, the happier they are. I don't know what it is with women and not wanting to wear shoes. And then whatever kind of sandal they might want to wear. And, I don't know sandals. Shape of sandals. I don't know. I know it's something strapped that's between the toe, but then they've got all kind of different type sandals. But draw the foot first. If you're focusing on a foot, and then draw the shoe under the foot instead of drawing the shoe and then putting the foot on top of the shoe. And then, I don't know, like, as I say, it's hard to figure out whatever. Remembering that the foot is round. So whatever material you put on there, it has to be round. And I know women are like cringing because they're like, that is the worst looking. And I had to look up shoe or slippers or whatever for women. Just remember, just keep the toes small, keep it round, and then just add some, toenail to it, make it look female-ish. But like the nose, the foot is considered like an ugly thing. That's why you really don't see a lot of people drawing feet, because it's really hard to draw a sexy foot, especially for a woman. A man's foot is just, it's just beat up. But yeah, give me a second to think about it. If there's anything else I missed, if not, I'll end this video here. But I'm thinking that might cover it. Yes, your front, your side, your back, in a shoe. And just remember, your foot is round. And it kind of curves in that let's just say that one toe. And there's a little space between the first toe and your second toe. 4, 5. The baby toe always is put in. Because we shove our feet in shoes, we have especially women, we have killed our feet because that one toe here always pushes against the other toe. And has that curve because we constantly stick our feet, especially women, in little tight shoes because they don't want you to see how big their feet are. And it's just going to be a little space between here, not too much, but just a little space between the big toe. And of course, again, it's going to be curved around. And then the little ball, the little arch, the heel back here, ankle, and then it goes up. So it goes up. So if the foot that part was here, it would go up. And of course, your toenails. And that's one hard thing to do is toenails, because you don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it. Usually, only time I would do a toenail, if I do a woman, and this one is going to be on the side, it's going to be small, or unless I had to do a man close-up foot, because the foot is actually beat up. We put the foot through hell, and it's actually beat up. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for the foot. And sometimes you would see some of the veins, depends, but definitely not on a woman. Sometimes depends on if you're stressed or not. Your foot is stressed. So other than that, this is just a quick video for the feet. Now hopefully you kind of got it, but it's all in the triangle. Just the triangle. Separate the triangle and then you're good to go. Cut it off at the side like that. Put that little indentation of the toe, shall we say. And then you got a foot. Oh, you got 2 feet in this case. You don't have to put the ankles. I usually don't, because a foot is not something that you focus on. It's like the flying part. If this guy was hovering over somebody and the guy's head was like right here and he's looking up at the whoever's hovering, you know, there's no need to put the guy's ankles here unless you just want, because that just indicates really thin material. So that's going to be it, because I'll keep drawing and I'll keep mumbling forever. So hit the subscribe button and the notification, because I never say, you know, subscribe. I keep forgetting that. Notification bell thing, thingy icon, so that whenever I put up a new video, you guys will know, because it'll tell you, because I might put up 1 a week, I might put up 3 a week, I don't know, depending on, you know, time and my brain doing right. So yeah, again, thanks for showing up. Yeah, let's go home, go home. I'm going back to bed. It's 4:59. Yeah, I'm going back to bed. All right, next video, I'll see you. All right, so this is just a little add-on. It's now 10 o'clock in the morning, and I have learned something. And that something is, never try to do a video at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep, because I left some things out that were real important going back over this in editing. So this won't take but a few seconds. And this, to me, is probably like one of the most important things that you need to do when drawing feet, as I'm cleaning my glasses. All right. I told you a little bit about the wedge. The wedge is important. Let's do this. Let's start over here. Let's do this. That's the triangle I told you about. Let's do this. Let's see if I can put them on the same line. Might make it easier. Now, the reason I did this, if it was hard for you to do that, then you can just do triangle. And the only thing you're doing is making the half a triangle a little wider. Each one you make a little wider. That's all. Longer, not wider, longer. So that's going to represent the foot turning. So if I'm drawing a character, let me draw a couple legs real quick so that you can see and understand this. If I'm drawing a character and their feet are there, you want to come straight down. This is where the ankles or the feet start. So you want to come straight down and then out into that little wedge like this. Like that, coming straight down. Remember, you can't go in like that. You have to come straight down because the ankle is here and then here. Inside is higher, I'm sorry. Inside is higher, yes. So from there, you just want to do the wedge like this. You just want to draw that line like that. I'm not determined like how much your feet are turned. So, I have a bad pen. If I'm drawing a character, do a little quick character drawing. Then I'll have that. And then this is where the toe comes in, and then you can have it come out and you can have the heel like that. Depends on how much you turn. Why did I bring that up? I don't know why. And that determines how much your foot is turned, this piece. But you're going to erase anyway. You're not going to keep that. But that's what I'm trying to show you here. Don't go away, pencil. So this one would be a very front, almost a very front turn. This one would be a little more, you see a little more side, you see a little more side too, because you don't want to have this front way wide. Keeping the line starting right here, and then, you know, you just keep going until you have a actual side, because you could use this one as a side foot altogether by having that, and then your toe up, heel, like that. All right, I think I just had that off camera, so I'm going to show you that again. Show you that again. You heard what I was saying, but you didn't see it because I was paying more attention to the paper. Again, your wedge. Starting at this point, bring the line down again. This point, bring that line down. And as I say, that shows you, this is what happens when I have the camera too focused, too close to the, too focused in. Bring that down. And it doesn't have to be flat on the ground. It can be. A lot of times I'll angle it like this. I'll bring it back like that if I'm having somebody stand versus having it just the whole thing flat. So the more you turn it, the more the character is being turned to the side until finally you get this little side piece right there. And then you just shape it up with the what is, I think that's the instep or the arch. This is the arch instep. And then your toe, the little pad of your foot comes up to the arch, and then your heel comes in and then up like that. And then you'd have to shape it. Best thing to do is like get you some references of feet if you're trying to do realistic feet. But for me, whenever I do character standing, I'll pretty much do something like that. And then of course, you know, your toes can come out. And then I just do the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just do the steps, the little step like that for my toe. Same thing with all of these. But if you're doing a boot or a shoe, you don't have to worry too much about that. You just kind of shape it out the way you want it by bringing this little extra toe here out. And you can have that in the arch right here, followed by the heel. And you just shape it out however. Now the more you turn it forward, the less you see, but I always bring it back like that instead of having it flat, unless I just needed a flat foot. And then again, as I said, just bring that little piece of toe out. And if you need be, just bring it in just a little bit to show, oh, this is where the toes go. I usually don't bring it across a foot, most cases, unless I'm doing a very front foot. All right, something else. Women's. I said I was gonna do women's feet. I showed you a little bit about that, and let's just say a woman in a heel from the side. First you have to get images of heels. You have to understand how heels are. And most heels, why did I switch to red? I don't know. I kind of like this. Like that has that shape. And then you have your heel, your actual heel, like that. And then depending on the shape of the foot, the shape of the shoe, what type of shoe you have, the foot would go. The foot has to ride on this thing. You know, I don't want to say I feel sorry for women who wear heels all day, but yeah, when you kind of start drawing this, you know how their feet have to be shaped all day, and that's for the sake of a man or for the sake of a job or basically the sake of a man, vanity. So you have your heel, you have your flatness, and usually on a lot of heels, it's going to turn up at the very front. A lot of shoes are going to turn up like that at the front. And then you have your heel, however you want your heel is shaped. You can go up, and then you have that piece right there. comes up and then up. Now you have to watch this shape here, how much you bend that, because you don't want it too bulgy and you don't want it too undergoing. And then, as I said, you have your heel. You could have the wedge heel, the whole heel, like that. And that's, now we're getting into the ladies' shoe fashion. You can have the big heel, like kind of like that, or you can have the small pump heel, or what is it, stiletto heel, like that. And as I said, you'd have to really get into the shoe fashion thing. So it could be, you know, some women are like way up here. There's always that bend, and then that heel. The more you bend it, the more you have to arch the foot. And you have that stiletto thing going on. So yeah, it's just, as I say, you have to watch that. And then if you want to put a strap or whatever, it's like, oh, you can draw women's shoes, but you can't draw sandals. Because I don't tend to draw sandals. I've had to learn. I've done it where I've done women's shoes. So I basically had to learn that, but fashion has changed so much. Remember that toe has a curve up. It's a walk thing. So you can walk. So it's usually turned up. But yeah, as I said, you have to watch that, because that right there looks swollen. So you'd have to play with how much, and it also depends on how much that heel turns, determines how much this little instep turns. I think this is your instep. This part here is your instep. Yeah. So let's just say if the back of a heel, if you're doing the back, same way when you come down and you do this. And then you have your ankle, and then you have your piece of your foot. Depends on which foot it is. A woman's heel, wearing shoes would be like this. It'd be like that, and you have your heel, and then you have this little piece that comes down like that. Because you have the bottom, you can see the bottom of the back of your the back of the shoe. My pen, if I can do this right. But as I'm saying, it's best to get your reference material, but your heel is always going to come down like this, and then your stiletto. If you're doing this thin heels, but you'll see the bottom of the shoe, and with the new, I can't think of what it was, when they came up with like the red bottom shoes, the expensive shoes, because they had a red bottom, take a Sharpie and then, you know, color your shoes. Take some spray paint, color the inside of your shoes. And then your heel will come somewhere up here, depending on how high this part is. And then the foot, the actual leg will come up. And that would be the same thing with the other side, except you go in the opposite direction. Yeah, camera's starting to blur again, so I'll end this little thing on this little note. Inside, bottom of your feet, you know your feet are curved like that. Your toes, when you have your toes are curved, and this is the part that's going to touch the ground. You have the little pad, I believe that's called the pad, and then you're going to curve in and have that small heel and then curve out like that. Same thing with the inside is always going to curve in and then out. So if this was a shoe, be like that. If not, you have your toes here, the part that's touching, and then you have your part of your toes that don't touch. And it might not be blurred in the final product, but it's blurred to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's blurred. The image that I'm seeing in my camera is blurred, and my monitor is blurred. Like so. So you just know your inside is always going to be curved in like that. Yeah. I think this was the most important part that I was missing for you guys to be able to do that. That wedge. That way it helps a lot, especially if you're not doing toes. You just know what direction you're going into, or the foot is going into. And then you can just get rid of this and just round that off in the back, round it off in the front, and then you have whatever, if you're doing boots or whatever. I don't really tend to do ankles, as I say, but I mean, it depends on you. I don't, because they're so small. If I drew an entire body here of somebody, then the last thing you're looking at is the person's ankles. So unless I'm doing a close-up of the foot like this, then maybe I'll do an ankle. And if it's a woman, but like I said, it has to be a reason for me to do the ankles. But yeah, if you're doing the whole body, no need to do ankles. You just know that the inside ankle is higher than the outside ankle. But yeah, you don't worry about that. If you're doing superheroes, if you're doing women, I mean, you might be doing women's fashion. You might want to do fashionable shoes or something like that. And from the front, I said I was going to do a front foot in a shoe. Last one, and then yeah, front view, front foot in a shoe. Let's say this is again the woman's shoe. This is the front of it. You do the little wedge here, and it depends on the type of shoe. Usually, as I say, it goes up. A lot of shoes go up in the front. To do that, you just do this little bit of a mountain, and it curves around, and you're doing the bottom. The bottom. This is just another pointer. This is not the woman's heel, and then you can add the little point, bringing it back. Let me do that because it is an important point. Especially if you're doing like heels. And then we're getting back to the boot again. But a lot of shoes will curve up because when you walk, as I said, when you walk and you go forward, your toe is not going to hit flat. So when you walk, you're like this. So you have to have that curve to put your foot down. Now back to the woman's front heel. Now that's when you would see, if you're doing a female, you will see the ankle inside is higher than the outside. And I'll just do this. Like I say, I'll curve mine off, but I'll curve it off that way I know where to put my ankles. So doing this, I'll just curve it off like this a lot of times. And that tells me what foot is what. Is your right foot or your left foot, instead of having it flat. That way it fits better when I'm drawing. When I put the leg in, it just kind of looks better. And then I know that, what ankle is what, where. But we're not harping on the ankle anymore. And the shoe, the front shoe, we did the back. Did we do? Yeah, we did the back, so the front. And it all depends on the shoe. I would just say get you some reference. For me, I'll kind of curve it and then curve it here. And then you might see some in the back, you may not, but you have the ankle, this, and the foot curves around. And as I say, you may see some heel in the back, you may not. Ankle, inside, ankle, like that. I'll bring it like that. As I say, it depends on what type of heel you have. Curve this, you may see some from the back. You may not, depending on the ankle. Some shoes are really low and you see the formation of the toe. But this one, again, what side would be the inside? This would be the big toe here. So you'd have more on this side than this side. More foot on this side or more shoe on this side than that side, because this is where your big toe is. So you have that little shape, and then it comes in the back, curves around. This is a shiny shoe. You leave some light to it, and it would be the same thing on the opposite side. You have a little more. You see that arch. You really wouldn't see the heel depending on how much is turned. And as I say, anytime you do comics, the word depends is a big thing. Because when you say, oh, show me how to draw a hand, a hand will take a million different forms or different positions. So it just can't show you how to draw a hand, show you how to draw a foot. Now, is it a man's foot? Is it a woman's foot? Is it a whatever foot? So anyway, yeah, that was just a little cut in because it was 10 o'clock now, so I'm up. I understand what I was doing or was not doing. So most of this is a reference. Now that you know how to draw this part of the foot, and I guess I'm speaking like this is the last thing. This might be in the middle of everything. But once you learn how to draw this, it becomes a little easier unless you're drawing, the toes and so forth. But if you're drawing a boot, just get your wedges and start being able to turn them. All right.